Yeah, I know what you mean. You change your thought.
you can become hurt because of that, because of having that premonition. Something like you have a premonition that something bad is going to happen to you. Are you able to protect yourself and keep yourself safe from that, or
You
is it
mean like pushing somebody away because I have a premonition they're going to do something against me? Yeah, I usually do stuff like that, but that's like a defense mechanism. That's not healthy. That's not the right way. I know I don't do it the right way when it's that. If I was
but
doing
then
it the right way, I'd
but
be
then
fully engaged, fully involved in the experience.
there's other people that actually experience premonition to where it's just something weird that happens. There's no explanation for it. There's no way of protecting themselves from that kind of a situation. It's just bam, there it is.
Is it a premonition then, or is that an experience?
That's always been the big question. That's what everybody who believes in premonitions has been asking. They just don't know.
See, if something happens, it's an experience. A premonition is a thought of something happened, and we like to say, "Oh,
Well,
it's going
you
to
have
happen."
the
We
thought
live on
before
different
it happens.
timelines,
You
so
you you
it
have
has happened, and it is happening simultaneously. We're living on different timelines, so we're living. We have like that's why when you're looking in the mirror, you're basically coming to revisit one of yourself, your infinite self, actually, because we live in different realms, in different dimensions. But time is continuous. It's not linear. Like we think time is linear, but it's not. It's continuous. So since time is infinite, it's non-relevant. It's an illusion. It's literally just a continuation of your existence. You are existed in multiple different areas every single where, and everything that you think is happening it's happening. What happens is how much you're willing to embrace with it. That's why I said you alter the thought, it goes to your other dimension. If you continue the thought, it happens here. That's what it is. You have multiple yous living at the same time, but your awareness of those yous only come with your connection to source.
Now, have you ever heard of a? Here's a good thing about like something that just is weird, okay, and there's no way you have control over it. Have you ever heard of a book called The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym?
Mm-mm.
Okay, have you ever heard of Edgar Allan Poe?
Yeah, and the Telltale Heart, and he buried his wife, and yeah.
Okay, now he wrote another book. It's called The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym, and the story it concerns the character Pym. But what happens is in the story he's telling a first story, a narrative about his adventures as a shipwreck, no, as a stowaway on a ship that was involved in mutiny and shipwreck. And during the shipwreck, it ends up having to do with cannibalism. Okay,
Mm.
now the cabin boy in the story, his name was Richard Parker, and he becomes the victim of the cannibalism. And the whole thing behind that is Parker suggested that each member of the crew should agree that one of them has to sacrifice themselves so that they can provide food for everyone else because they didn't have any food. All right, so everybody agrees to the suggestion, and what they have to do is they have to draw straws to determine who it's going to be that would be sacrificed for the sake of the others. Now, Parker ends up being the person to draw the shortest straw, so he's the one who ends up sacrificed for food, right?
Yeah, I bet he wish he kept his mouth shut.
Right. But this is the weird part about that. That's the story, right? Now, the thing of it is 50 years later, okay, a ship called the Niganati. It left the port of Southampton en route to Sydney, Australia, and the ship sank. Now, when the food ran out, the crew, like in the story, drew straws to determine who would do the same thing, who would be sacrificed for the sake of the others, and a cabin boy drew the shortest straw. So they killed him, and he was used for food. Now, the thing of it was is they were rescued and everything, but the weirdest part about it is you wouldn't guess what the name of the boy was that ended up being sacrificed.
Richard.
Richard Parker.
Shut the freak up. I got
Uh-huh.
chills.
And that was 50 years after that story was written.
Continuation. I told you. Infinite realities. It's so crazy too, because like, man, that's why you say what you mean and mean what you say, and if you don't mean what you say, deal with the consequences. Like I mean it. I mean all of it. That's why I don't like when people play with me, because it's like I'm really very passionate about controlling my life. Like I hear what you like. It's important to me because we can all do it, and now I cannot make everyone do it, but like I'm gonna have that life because that's all I believe in. And I understand the power of me just believing in that and knowing that that's what it is for me makes it true. And like, I encourage people to think like that, but I also recognize the power that everyone else recognizes. Hey, if these people don't think like that, guess who the power goes to? So for every life that rejects what they're told, that doesn't make me less powerful. It makes them less power. It makes them sustain the power that they've been maintaining, and me able to harvest that power that they could have offered themselves with this knowledge. And so I get to use it. So now I get to be a little bit more creative or sing a little bit better, whatever it may be. I get to become the ultimate just because I believe in it. And I'm not withholding the knowledge. See, I'm not doing it like 10% of this world does to have this power, have this knowledge, and just use people for it. No, 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 no. I'm telling you, but you're telling me I'm crazy. Not you. I'm just talking about experience. And you're saying this. And so I'm like, hey, well, I'm not just going to leave this. Oh, pow. So you gonna drop all this money right here on the street? And hold on, wait a minute. You ain't gonna pick
No,
it
no,
up?
I ain't
This
dropping no
yours.
money.
No, no, no. But to me, it's money. It's like money. It's just like a metaphor. It's like, say to me, you're gonna drop all this soul right here on the street. You're just gonna leave this here. Do you understand what you were going to be capable of? You ain't gonna pick it up. You running from it? Hold on, I'm gonna grab this. He said he didn't want it. You heard him. He didn't want it. I kind of have it. Talk to source. Oh, got it. It's mine now. Like, why? I gave it to you. No, I don't want it. It's not mine. You're crazy. Okay, all right. But what would just leave it all here? I'm not gonna leave this here. I know what this is worth. Give me this. And take it in the house. Be looking like I done stole something. Looking around like, whew, look what I can do, mom. And just, here we go. Like, for real though. And I'm not and it sounds like I'm insane, but like I said, like it works. I've lived this life. I'm not just talking about it. And I don't even sometimes I don't like it because I'm different. I'm real different, and it makes it to where it's just me and the boys, and just like, but it's cool because like at the end of the day, in the beginning again, I know what I'm doing. I know
Hmm.
what I'm doing, and I do it good, damn good. So.
Right. But I was just trying to bring that up because that's something that's really important for a lot of people who believe that what they're experiencing is premonition. And there's a lot of examples. Like you've heard about the Titanic, right? And the story
Yeah,
behind that.
that's such a good movie, but she knows she could have shared that door. Like it gets
Well,
more and more
you know,
frustrating.
you know that somebody actually had a premonition of that 15 years before it happened, right? They
I see,
even
and I just heard that recently. I
yeah
didn't
they
know that before.
yeah they
Yeah.
wrote a book. It was called Futility. And 15 years before it, a guy was, I think, working for a newspaper, and he wanted to write a book. So he wrote this book, and he turned it into his producer or publisher. And I don't know how it worked out if the book got published and everything like that, but what happened was is 15 years later, all of a sudden, freaking the Titanic went down, and they found out that the Titanic sank the same month even as the ship in the story did. And it sank exactly the same way. Okay, like verbatim, basically.
I wonder if like see stuff like that would make me feel like the designer of the boat, maybe the person that made it, especially if he wasn't on the boat. And I don't think he was, but he might have been. I don't, but yeah, because he was. He did go down. And he was kind of ticked off. Not the captain. I'm talking about the person that made the boat. It makes me wonder: did you read this book? This thought was there before.
Well,
I mean, it was
I mean,
somewhere on that boat. It was present.
nobody like read the book and decided, you know what, I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna freaking sink the Titanic. You know what I
You don't,
mean?
yeah, no, listen. You don't listen though.
Well,
Think about how malicious. I mean, you would hope not. You would hope not. Maybe not. Maybe they thought they would not be able to. But once you put that thought there, and then if any possible, like, it's just like, ugh, if you constantly think something bad's going to happen, it's going to happen. And even if
well,
it's just that I'm not
yeah,
going to think it's going to happen, but I'm gonna think about it. Maybe
yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm still going to put my attention, my energy,
Kind of
my power.
that kind of goes back to the first part, what I was talking to you about. You know what I'm saying? Like when you can actually, you know, pick up on things that just don't fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like like the guy who wrote the book, from what I've heard about it, like he had some pretty general knowledge about the Titanic and what was going on during that time period, and everybody was like upscaling these ships to where they could travel faster and carry more people. And um, he had an issue against like the lifeboats not being able to actually cover every single passenger on the ship, which was a
Right.
big issue. You know what I mean? So that was a big issue for him, from what I remember hearing about it. And
So does that sound strategic? Why would you
but
create a ship? Why would you?
at the same time, though, is how could, you know, that could be something that rung out in his mind, but how could you be so precise? Like, I mean, he was down, he was precise. If you ever get a chance, man, catch, get or read that book. It's called Futility.
I'm gonna put it on my book list. I have like, and I'm all over each one of them, so I haven't finished anything because I'm reading like five at a time. But yeah, I'm gonna add it to my list.
The messed up part about it was is the Titanic was what sunk, and in his book he even named the ship Titan.
Stop it.
No, I mean it was that close.
My
And
third eye is itching so bad while we're talking. It's like, and like I'm just like, oh my gosh, man, it's crazy. Cause like I don't know, when I say everything's connected, I mean it from experience and knowing this. But it's just like the way it's connected is the mystery. It's like I'd like to see and figure out the connection, the meaning of the connection. Like what would be the purpose? And see something like that, we could channel him and ask him, and we could just go talk to him, and we could say, "Hey, guy, why'd you do this? Were you aware of this book? Did you know?" And he'll tell us. He'll tell us if we ask him nicely. I mean, it depends what type of personality he is. I have to learn more about the guy to know whether or not he would even be willing to speak to us. But we can ask anyone anything about anything at any given time. And I know that again makes me sound crazy, but it's the truth.
you know, I mean, when it comes to it, if you sit and think about it, like how much have you heard about Nostradamus? Every time you turn around, somebody's talking about him.
Yeah,
And
somebody just said that to me about me being like that when yeah, I was like in a trading room and then someone said that because like I trade and I was like I used to go to these classes and I was saying because what he was showing me on the chart I was like, hey guy, it's a lot lower than what you're saying. I didn't say it like that. I'm very professional when I speak to the profession, and I was just like, hey, like did something right, and then they're clowning me like I don't know what I'm talking about, and it ended up dropping where I said it was going to drop. But it's crazy because I had no clue. I just thought he was. I was looking at the wrong chart. That's what they told me, but I wasn't looking at the wrong chart. I was looking at a different time frame in reality, and it was actually happening. Because it's crazy because it ended up dropping, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Nostradamus moved." That's what he said. That's the last most recent, and that was like within the last few weeks, month or so. And they said that, and like basically, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not about to happen. It happened, and it was crazy to me because it's just like it happened. But did I emphasize on the fact that it happened? But like it's just wild because I saw the reason I heard of him. And then Dave Chappelle did a skit about nigger dominance. And that's funny. So it was like it was I mean, like that's how I know him. I don't really know I hear the jokes, like he predicts the stuff that's gonna happen or whatever, 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 whatever. Yeah. So maybe I don't know. And I like to stay away from people that I parallel with so I can see how much energy is really just me and then what I'm getting from everyone else. Because I like to know how much I can do and then how where necessary. It's just one of those things. And then I recognize my limitation. I mean, like if I'm disconnected from materialism, I'm going to need some help with materialism. But I can also bring as much power and energy as it possible is when it comes to the spiritual. And like that's just real. And I mean, like I mean, I know who you are is a big, very big, important step into being able to be in control or powerful. Because I mean, if I didn't know who I was, you're going to tell me who I am, or somebody's going to tell me who I am, and I might believe them.
yeah, well, now that we have you calmed down, I'm
I know, right?
I'm gonna say we really do need to kind of bring this to an end. It's like over an hour and 45 minutes.
Thank you so much. It was so fun. You talked about my most favorite subject in the whole entire world, and it's us. And it's just like us as people and just like infinite possibilities. So thank you so much. And I will look forward to conspiracy theories tomorrow.